And we're recording. Hi, welcome. I am Jennifer Jones. I'm Jennifer V. Jones on Facebook and my website. So you are tuned in. Hold on, let me turn off this flashing light thingy. You're tuned in now to the live conference call. I will just be giving you some information today, and this is recorded, so you'll be able to watch it back and share with friends that you know who are struggling. This is all about inflammation and deficiencies. What problems are you having in your life? What physical problems, behavioral problems are you noticing maybe in your kids? That's what we're really going to be learning about and discussing today. So let me give you a little background about me and why it is that I'm qualified to tell you anything about anything. Especially as it relates to your health and wellness and your beauty and vitality and energy. So I started life very sick. I was born in 1970 and soon after ended up in the hospital as an infant with asthma. I just had horrible asthma growing up and into my 20s even. I suffered from horrible life-threatening asthma attacks. I've been in ICU. I've been fully intubated. It's a very, very scary thing, of course. Besides being life-threatening, it's terrifying to have a life-threatening illness. So as I got older and started, becoming an adult and researching, I realized that maybe I could keep myself out of hospitals and off of medications because I had such horrible traumatic experiences, not just with my illness, but in the hospitals. When if you've ever been in a hospital with some kind of illness, they do all kinds of testing. And when you are a child or a young adult, that can be very terrifying. And if there's not a huge amount of quality control in the medical industry, or you don't have a patient advocate there with you, you never know exactly what's going to happen. So as a result, I did everything I could to make sure that I was able to stay off of meds and out of hospitals, out of doctors' offices, and no testing for me. So I started to really research and do everything I could. That brings me to about 1996. In 1996, I read the book, Eat Right for Your Type. And in Eat Right for Your Type, the author talks about gluten intolerance. And it's also the same time that I entered college. It was actually, I was a sophomore, I think, in college, and I just moved out to California to attend a university out there. So, or out here, because that's where I live now. And so, I was studying psychology, but after a few semesters, I had my first physiology course and also started studying metabolic psychology. This is when I discovered how closely related our health is to our environment. I studied environmental illnesses. So I just learned about gluten-free or the insult that gluten has on the body in 1996 and started my path to gluten-free, which there was no guidebook. There were very few people discussing gluten as an environmental illness, as an inflammatory ingredient in our food products and all of the problems that could have that could cause in our bodies. And then I started to realize also about the dairy products. So between dairy and gluten, I realized that I could control quite a bit of what I was suffering from, which was actually an inflammatory response. The asthma is an autoimmune inflammatory response in the lungs. And what's happening is the body perceives a threat and creates an attack, and which creates inflammation. They also find high levels of peroxide in the lungs of especially children with asthma during an asthma attack, which your red blood cells release hydrogen peroxide into the body when you're fighting infection. So let's tie all this together. So I started learning about gluten-free. I started learning about dairy and the inflammatory issues that dairy causes, and going to school and studying metabolic psychology and environmental illness. So it took me 3 full years to really understand gluten-free, because it's hidden in everything. It's hidden in medications. It's in soy sauce. So I would go out thinking I'm gluten-free, eat something, Chinese, let's say I go to a Chinese restaurant and I put soy sauce on it, and I want to crawl under the table and go to sleep, and then I feel horrible and bloated. So I had to start really understanding and reading the ingredients of everything I put in my mouth. And I don't really cook or bake, so I would go to a bakery, for example, and get a bran muffin thinking that it's bran, it's not wheat. Well, if you bake, you know that everything's made of, white enriched wheat flour, and that's full of gluten. And so it took quite a long time. So finally, I got it down, and people started asking me, especially after the birth of my first son in 2004. He was born in May of 2004, and I snapped back into shape very rapidly. And that is when I was working for the Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, and I was around a lot of people who were starting to struggle with their weight, just like the rest of America in the early 90s, I think, is when people started really having trouble. Our food supply really changed. Our processed foods started including more fillers, which are typically gluten. So a lot of people were asking me how I was doing, what I was doing, how I was staying so fit and thin. And that's when I started really realizing that there was a need for a book. Well, I didn't intend really to write a book. I had written a million napkin notes and just jotted things down on paper for people to take. And finally, one day I was interviewing a gentleman, a deputy who was maybe, I don't know, 6'4", 6'5", bailiff in the courts, which are all sheriffs in Los Angeles. And he was very big. So I'm interviewing him and taking his picture, and he said, "Oh, don't take a picture of my scab." And I said, "Well, why do you have a scab on your forehead?" He said, "Because I have sleep apnea and I wear a mask at night and it irritates my face." And I knew that sleep apnea could easily be resolved by taking out the inflammatory foods, gluten and dairy and lactose. One second, let me mute. So I knew I was going to see him because he was a unit rep. And so I got on the stick and I told him, I said, do not get the surgery, because he was going to get surgery for sleep apnea. So do not get the surgery. Just let me give you this information, you check it out and see how it goes for you. So I went back to work and started writing my book as quickly as I could. And it's a short book. It's been on the market since 2004. It's always been a very short book, because who really wants to sit down and read a 300-page book and become an expert? We all just really want to be well as quickly as we can and as simply as we can. And that is what I do. So my book is still under 70 pages. So I sat down and wrote out this book for him, printed it out on the printer, put it in a manila envelope. And the next time I saw him, I gave it to him. Now we had unit rep meetings once a month. So I got to see him once a month. The first month he lost, I want to say 30 pounds. And this is interesting because remember this, okay? 30 pounds in 1 month. And the next month, quiet now, he lost, I'm in my home, of course. If anybody out there knows me, you know that I work from home. And so I've got kids and I've got dogs. So working from home, I'm sorry. And so, where was I? I lost my train of thought. So I gave this to him. He lost like 30 pounds the first month. The second month I saw him, he lost like 10 or 20 more pounds. I mean, this was a big, big, big guy. So for 3 months in a row, I saw him. He lost an incredible amount of weight. His wife and his kids also went gluten-free with him. So they started not only losing weight, but resolving some of their health issues. Well, so after just the first couple of weeks of being on a gluten and dairy-free diet, he did not need his mask for sleep apnea anymore, and his sleep apnea went away. And he started to be able to work out and run again. What ultimately happened with this deputy, stuck in the courts because he was so incredibly overweight, he lost his weight, he got promoted and went out on patrol, which is pretty much what every deputy wants. They want to be a patrol deputy, and with the LA sheriffs. And then what happened is he got hired to another agency in a more safe area that had higher pay. And to this day, he is the president of their union. So his career totally, the gluten and dairy free diet completely changed the trajectory and the possibilities for his life. And for me, what happened going gluten free and dairy free is that I quit suffering from asthma attacks. I still occasionally have to use my inhaler in the change of seasons. Okay, so I do have a predisposition for respiratory issues. And in another conference call, I'll give you some information about peroxide and how to use peroxide safely and effectively if you suffer from chronic bronchitis or infections. So make sure that you come back or check out my website, because I would love to talk to you about that. But first and foremost, let's handle the inflammation. So all kinds of health problems can be resolved, everything from acne to acid reflux, sinusitis, irritable bowel. There are so many inflammatory illnesses that if you just learn how to go gluten-free, dairy-free, which is the lactose. Lactose is a molecule in cow milk. Human breast milk is a different molecular structure. The sugar is galactose. It's the same as sheep and goat milk and cheese. So if you love cheese, just eat sheep cheese. It's really quite yummy. Manchego is a very popular brand. Basque is a really wonderful thing. Go to a cheese deli, maybe an international cheese deli like a German store or a Whole Foods or something. Go to their cheese counter and ask them for samples of their sheep cheese and goat cheese and take notes and figure out which ones you like. Butter seems to be okay. If you want to eat things like pasta, get a really good high quality brown rice pasta. You can get these at most stores. Try them out. The corn isn't as good. I know I'm rambling, but you can always slow this down probably in the settings, which should be right over here. The settings, slow it down and take notes, and take these notes to your grocery store or get my book. I think I have pretty much all this information in my book. There's a couple things I need to update that I'll tell you about today. So you can also go to Amazon and look for a company called Jovial, Jovial pasta. It's wonderful pasta. It's made of brown rice, and it has a wonderful, just thick and hearty consistency, and you'll like it better than your limp and lifeless and tasteless and yucky, gluten pasta. So what else can I tell you really quickly? Yeah, avoid soy sauce. You can get gluten-free soy sauces, but, what else? Oh, so if you love to eat bread, you want to eat bread and sandwiches, okay, fine. You don't have to shop in the gluten-free section. Typically, most people I've worked with are not horribly celiac. We have sensitivities, intolerances, and allergies. Most people are sensitive or intolerant, and they can handle things like sourdough bread. Most people I talk to and I tell them about my sourdough trick, they're like, well, sourdough is my favorite bread. Well, I wonder why. Is it because your body feels better or just knows that the souring process ferments the gluten and breaks it down enough for most people to handle? The other thing you can do is take digestive enzymes. When you go to my website, jennifervjones.com, you'll see a product link. Go to that website and register for either a free account or a membership account that gives you discounts on those products, and get the digestive enzymes. That's going to help you break down the lactose if you're eating cow cheese. It's going to help you break down the proteins. If you get bloated when you eat, you're having a food reaction. That's an inflammatory reaction. Most people are not that fat. We're bloated. We have pounds and pounds and pounds of water stored up in our bodies, because if we don't have enzymes to break down these foreign substances like gluten and lactose, then we've got to pull water from our extremities into our gut, which creates bloating, and flush out the things that we can't digest. And that's why people are walking around with tons and tons of water weight, thinking that it's fat. And no matter how much you work out, there's no amount of working out that's going to reduce inflammation from your diet. You'll have a really fantastic fit body underneath all that bloat. And that's why someone like this deputy could lose 30 pounds in 1 month. He's losing an incredible amount of water. Think about how much water a 6'5" guy who's, I don't know, 300 and something pounds, probably more than that, can lose in a month after going anti-inflammatory. It's the inflammatory process that's going to hang on to that water to help flush out everything that's going on. Form fits function. Your body is the same way. Your body's going to come up with any kind of clever way it can to deal with all the insults and environmental illnesses. So that's why you want to get on an anti-inflammatory diet. Also in my products link, you're going to find that all of the products that you can buy, of course we have cosmetics and shampoos that are more safe for you, they're less toxic, but also it's the dietary protein shakes, the appetite suppressant taffies that taste like lemonade or cocoa, or chocolate and caramel and special holiday flavors. It's actually mint cocoa this holiday season. There's some digestive enzymes, 7-day body cleanse that is not a fast. It's a very gentle cleanse. No cramping, no staying home for a day while you purge everything. Very, very gentle. Detox teas, herbal colon cleanses. You want to pull out the toxins. Get your body clean again. There's energy drinks. So instead of doing like a toxic Red Bull, you can do our vegan. Everything is vegan, gluten-free, dye-free, soy-free, filler-free. So go and check out those products. This is what I've used for years and years to make sure that I am supplementing and bridging the gap between my diet and my nutrition. Because if you're deficient, that's the other side of it. There's inflammation that I've given you a little information about there. And then there's the deficiencies. Oh, everybody walks around with their plastic bottles full of water as if we're in the Sahara Desert and drinks water all day long. First of all, plastic is not a solid like glass is. So you're drinking the plastic molecule, which mimics estrogen in our bodies, which causes estrogen dominance, which causes all kinds of inflammatory issues and increases your risk for certain cancers, creates man boobs, shrinks the man parts, and things like this. Research estrogen dominance and what it can do to you and your family, and you might see some of those issues that you guys are suffering from as a direct result of estrogen dominance. The other thing about drinking so much water, we're not made of water. Everybody says, oh, we're 70% water. No, we're not. When you go to the hospital, do they give you IV bags full of water? No. What is it? Saline solution. We're not water. We're saline. So what is the important factor in that saline? Well, if you do not have the proper salts in your tissues, it can't siphon the water out of your body and into your blood and into your tissues, because the salt creates that effect. And so you want to have something that is electrolyte rich, full of the good stuff that your body needs. You're flushing away by drinking so much water. You're actually washing out all of the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, electrolytes that you need. And you're creating deficiencies for yourself. And in our diets these days, we're eating so many processed foods, and not even if we're eating organic whole foods, the soil, the air, and the water it's grown in is either toxic or deficient. And so no matter how much, even if you live in a pristine environment, okay, maybe if you have an organic garden in a pristine environment somewhere in New Zealand, maybe you're doing okay. Most of us, even if we're eating organic, we're getting a fraction of the nutrients that we would have maybe 50 years ago. We all need to supplement, but we can't supplement with vitamins that are full of fillers and other inflammatory things and devoid of really good high energy nutrition. And that is where the product line again comes in. I'm telling you guys, I am 45 years old now. I just turned last week, and I've been using these products for a good 10 years. The older I get, the more I attribute my health and vitality and my beauty and just everything, my youthfulness, my, the fact that I'm able to hold myself together and not start breaking down like so many other people my age or older or younger, is because I not only have an inflammatory diet, but I have support products. So what I put in, on, and around my body resonates at a very high life-giving level of resonance, because it is high quality, very pure, high quality formulas. And as much as you may think that all vitamins are the same, or, oh, we pee out our vitamins, well, you pee out what you don't need. If it's bioavailable, it's not you are what you eat, it's you are what you absorb. So you want some very highly bioavailable, very absorbable nutrients. So not only are you going to be using digestive enzymes to make sure you're breaking things down, but then you've got to be able to absorb them and assimilate them. And, you are what you eat. The reason they say that is because your new cells are created from the things that you're eating today. So if you're eating a bunch of processed foods, where are your new cells going to be coming from? They're coming from processed junk. And they're not going to be as good as your original cells. Give your body what it needs. Give your body the high energy, anti-inflammatory products to bridge the gap between what you're eating and what your body actually needs. Okay. Again, jennifervjones.com. Go to the products link. Join my Facebook club. It's free, of course. It's just a Facebook page, but it's the Southern California Secret Diet Club. So you're going to join the club. I'll show you what the cover of my book looks like. Let me do a screen share here for you guys. See, okay, so there it is. There's the cover of the book, and right here, of course, my beautiful Hollywood headshot. And I'm going to try to do these calls every Thursday. But share this with your friends. I'm going to post this as a recording. I know I'm kind of rambling through this just because I want to give you this information really quickly. It's not rocket science. And the other thing is I offer consultations. If you want me to walk you through this, look, here we are together right here, right now. You can walk me, FaceTime me, Skype me through your kitchen, and I can help you. Or if you're in my area, I can just come to you and do what I call a Pantry Boot Camp 101, where I go through your cupboards and see, what do you like to eat? And then we replace it with stuff that's non-inflammatory. And we put in your hands very high quality nutritional supplementation that is going to raise your vibration and make you feel better. As I said, if what you put in, on, and around your body doesn't resonate at least as high as you do or higher, then it's resonating lower and sucking your energy and sucking your life and vitality out of you. Okay? I don't know what else to say. That's pretty much it. I really appreciate you guys checking this out, and check back with me. Email me. Don't email me. Private message me on Facebook. Friend me up first. Follow me so that I'm getting those messages. Post on my page. Whatever it takes to get a hold of me. Of course, you can always call. The number's 909-723-7069. 909-723-7069. Text me. Call me. jennifervjones.com. Do it for yourself and thank yourself. Go ahead and make this journey. Make it, just start today. And if you need help doing that, the first place to start, I would say, is just get the book. Get the book and give me a call. I'll help you through it. And it's follow my page, and we'll get it done together. It's actually quite simple. And again, thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next Thursday at noon Pacific Standard Time. And you can also check out, I have a lot of other video conference calls available that I do. And for Arbonne, it's Jennifer V. Jones Road to Nation. My business is growing quickly. Why? Because everybody wants to know about this. You can be a consultant too. If you want to help people if you want to do what I'm doing, even if you haven't written a book, it doesn't matter, because everybody needs help. Everyone, can learn from one another. So we share information. We give each other the information about the product line and about anti-inflammatory and deficiencies. I have people on my team who are growing fantastic businesses alongside me, helping others as well. So if you are the type to want to really help other people, help yourself and your family, check that out. Jennifer V. Jones Road to Nation on Facebook, and jennifervjones.com. Go to the products link. That'll tell you about the products that are available for you. If you want to work from home or work from anywhere and create financial and time freedom in your life and help people become better, the health and wellness industry is the next $1 trillion industry, and we are one of the top companies. And if you want more information about that, definitely hit me up. Either way, whether it's for your health or your financial wall of freedom that you can build for yourself, get with me. And you guys, I'll see you around, and God bless. Take your life into your own hands. I'm here for you so I can help you along the way. Bye bye.